Kia ora, boys and girls. Well, I've got a great story for you. You might have remembered that I read a story called Clubs. Well, this is another story by Kate Goldi and Jacqui called Billy. And I would recommend that you either buy this or get it out of the library because it's got a lot of pictures that need a lot of looking at and explaining and thinking about. Like that one. It's actually kind of like a fairground. My teacher is a magnificent creature. She lives in an ancient house with a turret and a finial. You know what finial is? One of those sort of spike things. 2 cats and an axolotl. And a kuni pig called Daniel. She eats black pudding, yum. And banana cake, yum yum, for breakfast. And cold kimchi for lunch. She sings, "Kiss me honey honey," on the way to school. And sometimes serenades us into class. She says work should be a pleasure and play must be even better. My dad says they certainly broke the mold when they made Ms. Love. Ms. Love says she'll give me a jelly snake if I let her read my latest storybook installment. She says she's dying for my version of Pet and Produce Day, and could it be an item at the end of term show? It's time people knew the truth, I say, but it might mean 2 jelly snakes. Bargaining. And there are some of the pictures. I told you there's lots of pictures. So this one says a Vietnamese pot-bellied pig, a kuni pig, a Berkshire pig, a Gloucestershire old spot. In the week leading up to the Pet and Produce Day, Ms. Love sends Billy Button to the Quiet Club 5 times. There's all the kids in the class. You don't go anywhere in the Quiet Club isn't a place, you understand. You don't go anywhere. It's a state of mind, Ms. Love says, a meditative state of mind. What's meditative? Says Billy. Reflecting deeply, says Ms. Love. What's reflecting? Says Billy. That Billy, he asks questions till the cows come home. Reflecting means thinking long and quietly, says Miss Love. The key word is quietly. I say to Billy, think about what colour angry is or how it smells. Like burnt biscuits, says Billy. Or the colour of peaceful, says Islay. And how it sounds. Sky blue, said Billy. And I like a ukulele. You can think up calming songs, I say. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen, sings Billy. Very ironic, says Ms. Love. What's ironic, says Billy. Very ironic, says Ms. Love. What's ironic, says Billy. Look it up, I want to say, like my mother. But the dictionary is a mystery to Billy. Looking up is harder than running around the spiral road. His alphabet is more tangled than a pile of pickup sticks. His attention span is shorter than a baby goldfish's. My dad says a conversation with Billy is all over the road like a skidding car. My mother says Billy's mum is old with worry. Miss Love says she never worries about Billy. His ingenuity could raise the Titanic. But says Billy, what's ingenuity? It's the next lot of pictures. On Monday morning before P&P Day, Ms. Weston Wynne Williams comes to talk about sand saucers. Mrs. Weston Wynne Williams has a long, mournful face and eyes as black as olives. That's her there. She's bossier than 2 traffic wardens. While she's reciting sand saucer rules, Billy leans over and says in a Billy whisper that Ms. Weston Wynne Williams looks exactly like the Wicked Witch of the West. Might be right. Mrs. Weston Wynne Williams is straight out of The Wizard of Oz. But Ms. Love has no time for loud whispering in front of visitors, so she sends Billy to the Quiet Club. Here's some more of these magnificent pictures. On Monday afternoon, we construct our sand saucers. I do my annual Memorial Library outline with linden twigs. Adelaide makes secret symbols with perfectly white pebbles. Byron has a cunning plan for a dandelion clock face. Billy tries a cricket game with daisies, but it's a disaster. His sand is damp and stiff and his daisies bedraggled. When his fourth daisy falls over and a lump of sand flicks into Freddie's lap, Billy shouts in rage and Miss Love signals the Quiet Club again. Miss Love says she is all for self-expression, but self-control is a fine thing too. My dad says Billy's language makes him blush. My mother says no wonder Billy's parents hardly ever go out. Since he's in the Quiet Club, Billy signs a swear word. It's music time. On Tuesday, Dr. Rawlson comes for vegetable exhibits. Everyone likes Dr. Rawlson, especially Billy, who's had more stitches and injections and plaster casts than anyone else at school. While Dr. R is demonstrating official radish dimensions, Billy leans over and whispers loudly that Dr. R's nose hair is longer and bristlier than his grand's toothbrush. Dr. R's nasal hair is out of control, but Ms. Love has no time for unkind comments of a personal nature, so she sends Billy to the Quiet Club for the third time. And there's Dr. R talking about radishes. That afternoon we fill in our entry forms. There's all the entry forms, and there's poor old Billy. I have 5 artwork entries. Byron and Adelaide enter all the cooking sessions because food is their consuming passion. Alex B, Twyla and Micah devote themselves to pets. Jake will only do Lego. Everyone else spreads themselves around, but Freddie gets the record. He enters radishes, carrots, broad beans, butt potatoes, shell collection, Lego construction, collage, toffee making, decorated cake, egg art, domestic pet, sand saucer, lamb calling, and the Lady Robinson sewing basket trophy. Freddie's list drives Billy wild. Before we can stop him, he stands on his desk and shouts that Freddie Luffu just wants to rule the world. Which is how Billy ends up in the Quiet Club again. My dad says he's with Billy. Freddie's an overachiever from way back. Ms. Love says it makes no difference if Billy mutters imprecations under his breath. Hotheads require the cool reason of the Quiet Club. Huh, says Billy. What's imprecations? On Wednesday we do our egg art. Mary makes an egg bride with a sequin-studded dress and a tattered veil. Exquisite, says Miss Love. Say creates geisha egg. She wears a red kimono and has straw chopsticks in her hair. She holds a tiny paper fan. Delectable, says Miss Love. Robert makes spider egg, though he only has enough pipe cleaners for 5.5 legs. Disabled, I whisper. Freddie turns a massive duck egg into Egg Vader. Billy stares malevolently at Egg Vader's taffeta cape and mask, at his shiny Fimo boots and gauntlets. His eyes narrow ominously when Freddie fashions a nifty lightsaber from cellophane and a piece of electric flex. "Stealer," hisses Billy, squeezing his eyes. But as he eye squeezes, he accidentally hand squeezes too, and his eggshell cracks all over and collapses like a bad pavlova. Next thing, Billy is banging his head up and down his desk and yodeling banned words. And he's in the quiet club for the 5th time. There's Billy with his love. At lunchtime, Adelaide and Brian and I clean the fish tank while Mrs. Love has a quiet chat with Billy. "Why do I send you to the quiet club, Billy?" says Miss Love. "To help me think," says Billy gloomily. "Yes," says Miss Love. "To calm down, smell the roses, think." "I know what I think," says Billy. "You do?" says Miss Love. Pet and produce day is like prison, with no escape." Miss Love sighs. But next minute she's pulling Billy to his feet. "Come on," she says, "one last try. You can do it. I know you can." Byron hums Jailhouse Rock softly as we scrub. We go to Billy's after school, but he says he's okay, and could we just write his titles? "Titles have no rules," says Miss Love. "Wit and imagination may run riot." She's my kind of teacher. Billy's writing runs riot, that's for sure. It's backwards, upside down, and bulges like an amoeba. But his titles are laugh out loud. By the time we leave, Billy has 4 new entries ready, including a cake made with 3 layers and a little interference from Byron. There's the judges on Pet and Produce Day. First up on P&P Day is the judging. Mrs. Weston Wynne Williams, Dr. Rollston, and Lady Robinson walk up and down the rows like policemen and women at a crime scene, stopping and peering, nodding, taking notes. My dad says the Pet and Produce judges take themselves more seriously than the Nobel Prize Committee. My mother says Mrs. Weston Wynne Williams' garden party hat is truly a fashion crime. That's the hat there. Miss Love says she earnestly hopes Daniel won't try and nuzzle Lady Robinson's ample thighs during the parade. At 11 a.m. the judging is complete. There's all the kids around the judging table. The first thing we see is Freddie's decorated cake with a blue rosette. Freddie's cake has violent red icing and is smothered in licorice all sorts. It's called a licorice lunacy. Billy's cake is called Nights in the Quiet Club. He has chocolate icing as black as coffee and 2 Lego knights perched on top. No prize though. At the egg table, Egg Vader has a rosette under his cloak. Billy's egg doesn't have a cloak. He's called Quiet Egg, and he has woolly hair, a black tee, and a pair of long shorts, like Billy's. Quiet Egg's eyes are closed, and he has a fat cardboard finger to his lips, but no rosette. There are no surprises at the sand saucer table. Freddie's scones with Tuatara Rex. Billy's saucer has a ring of stones around the edge and a small black stone in the middle. It's called Thinking in the Quiet Club, and it doesn't have a prize. The last table is vegetables, where Freddie's pile of shiny broad beans has another rosette. Billy has one skinny bean pod right beside Freddie's pile. It's called All Alone in the Quiet Club. And next to it is a white card saying, undersized, disqualified. Lord Loveduck, say Brian, Adelaide and I at exactly the same time. It's my mother's favourite saying in a crisis. Lord Loveduck. But what's disqualified, says Billy. While everyone is at lamb calling, Billy takes his entries and throws them in the mini bin. Then he sits under the linden tree, not looking at the world. What are you thinking, I ask? Of dropping something on Egg Vader and squashing him flat, says Billy. Billy's mum and dad try to talk to him, but Billy squashes his nose against the linden trunk. What are you thinking now, says Byron. That escaped lambs might eat Freddy's vegetables, says Billy. Philemon offers him some third prize caterpillar cake, but Billy puts his head between his knees. And now, says Adelaide, that Tuatara Rex gets trampled by the Picaris twins, says Billy. When Miss Love comes over, Billy begins yelling, I don't care if you put me in the choir club. What are you thinking, says Miss Love, sitting down beside him. That Freddy falls off the stage at prize giving and breaks both legs, says Billy. I earnestly hope not, says Miss Love. But come to the prize giving anyway. You can carry on with your thoughts while you're there. That's all Billy's thoughts about things being smashed. At prize giving, they are on stage. Billy watches Fred and Micah and Jake and Twyla and practically everyone in room 7 collect prizes. The judges shake hands and pat shoulders and smilingly nod. They're like a row of factory machines. Shake, shake, pat, pat, nod, nod, nod. Billy claps after every prize like a wind-up toy with flat batteries. Clap, clap, clap. When all the presenting and patting and nodding and shaking is over, Mr. DeLuca stands up. A pet and produce innovation, he booms, a new award, endowed and presented by our junior dean, Ms. Love. Freddie again, says Billy, and Billy whisper. I imagine Freddie accidentally catching fire. Ms. Love hops onto the stage, her ponytail bouncing like a horse's mane. Some of us work well within limits, says Ms. Love, smiling at all the faces. But some work brilliantly outside them. What's innovations? Whispers Billy. What's endowed? This prize, says Ms. Love, is for someone who has brought his life into his art. She holds up an enormous orange rosette. The glitter falls from it like snow. Lord love a duck, says Byron and Adelaide, but I'm holding my breath. Freddie, moans Billy, diving down under his t-shirt. This prize, says Ms. Love, is for someone with passion and panache, who has thought well. A sick calf sound comes from under Billy's black t-shirt. This prize, says Ms. Love, with a smile as wide as Birdling's flat. This prize is for Billy Button. Me? Says Billy, popping his head. Me? He yells, leaping up onto his seat. That Billy, he star jumps all the way up to the judges and nearly knocks over Mr. DeLuca's podium. Ms. Love says that's just how she likes Pet and Produce Day to end, not with a whimper but with a bang. There's the Ingenuity Award as the big orange rosette. My dad says, I expect great things from that boy. I really do. I see that name in lights. My mother says, fingers crossed his parents survive. What's panache? I say. There's all the kids in the classroom. Ms. Love says it may take some time, but she will work out who released Daniel from his cage. She has grave suspicion, she says. Meanwhile, she will seize the opportunity to teach us about letters of apology. My teacher is a lovesome creature. And this was Daniel, the Kuniki pig, I think. Is that right? From the beginning, do you remember? Yes, a Kuni pig called Daniel. Pigs can run amok a bit, can't they? And there's the story about Billy and about the wonderful Miss Love. Have a great day.